The game show that is flipping the script on how we think and how we laugh. The CBS hit show Flip Side is back for season 2. The game puts two teams head to head as they guess how opposite groups of people really feel about everything from family to relationships. And joining us now to talk about the new season is the host himself, Jaleel White. Jaleel, welcome. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I don't want to say you were bragging about the size of your set in Atlanta, but there was a conversation about this set compared to yours. How has a new filming location in a new city influenced, and by the way, also a hotbed of creativity in Atlanta, how has it influenced the show?
It's influenced our contestant, I'll tell you that. We got a lot of jolly Southerners that are rolling through with some really funny answers. And even when they lose, they cook for me. They're like, hey, I lost, but I want you to try my mac and cheese. And they show up the next day with some ribs. It's really, really fun place for fertile ground for contestants.
And this season dives deeper into family dynamics, relationships. What have been some of the funniest and wildest things to come out of that subject matter?
Oh, gosh, just in general, sometimes as a host, I feel like a marriage counselor standing up there. I mean, do you want the points or do you want a quiet ride home for the husband? It's just funny seeing two people have to figure out which one of them between them is right and which one between them is loud. That's the dynamic that I deal with pretty much every time I'm out there.
Are they ever the same? The loudest voice is the actual correct
Occasionally.
one? Yeah, sometimes.
Occasionally.
But if you're not correct and you raise your voice, that's your chance.
Yeah, there's sometimes you end up like there was a mother, not a mother, but a father-daughter duo, and she just could not figure out her father was always right. I mean, as cliche as it was, and finally when we got to right before the last question, I was like, they had not answered anything. And I was like, I just, as a host, I can't intervene too much, but whatever your father says, why don't you try going with it this time? Okay, and of course they got that right.
So you're just changing family dynamics, father-daughter dynamics for life. The show's become so popular, and I can sense it just talking to you why you think that's the case. But what do you think viewers love about the show?
It's relatability. You can play from home. It's beauty salon, barbershop debates, distilled down into, questions, very simple questions. And I really love our third round because our third round is just this or that. Toilet paper over or toilet paper under. And how many can you get right in 30 seconds? And it's just great to hear that sound go off again. Bling, 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 bling. If you do it 8 times in a row, I think you probably smoked the other team.
There are people that like the toilet paper under. That shocks me.
They're out there, Doug.
They're out there.
They're out there.
Hosting is an art form. I think the people like yourself who are good at it make it look so easy.
Thank you, man.
But you have a plan. I don't know necessarily if you're using a script, but you have to stick to a show format.
Yeah.
But also you're improvising.
Yeah.
And listening, I'm imagining, is a huge part of what you do by making sure that you're going with the flow of what people are saying.
No, you're an intuit. Listening is, I'd say, 60% of hosting, because I'm listening for the aspect of my contestant that I can pull out of them and be like, well, hey, let's talk more about that.
Yeah.
And it's always fun when I find that.
You really are like a family therapist. How do you feel? Thank you so much. Jaleel White, host of The Flip Side. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Doug.
Great to meet you.
Absolutely.
The Flip Side airs at 5 p.m. and 5:30 on WLNY, New York 55.